We talked about loyalty the night before the party, but she. Hi there, welcome to Reddit Goat channel. Today we are going to have another unbelievable cheating story. But before we get started, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you won't miss any of our daily cheating stories. I, 27M, and my GF 28F had a talk about loyalty the night before she went to a work party. She cheated on me at that party. I feel like I'm dissociating. I had been cheated on when I was a teenager. This morning when she told me what happened at the party, I experienced the same gut-wrenching feeling that I felt in my teenage years. I'm a successful dude with a promising career. I gave her my all. I was constantly reassuring her of her beauty in my eyes, but it just wasn't enough and her thirst for attention never lessened. We've had countless talks about fidelity and how I value someone who has integrity and wouldn't act on a whim and give in to temptation. In retrospect, I believe I should have refrained from these sessions of me trying to reiterate my boundaries, because I always knew in my gut that she'd eventually cheat on me because I had known that she'd cheated on all her exes in the past. I feel bad for her. She thinks she is ugly. This ripped my heart apart the first time she told me this. I did everything I could to reassure her that that was not the case, but all those attempts were futile. She has deep insecurities that I never quite knew how to wrap my head around. She went to therapy one day and after the first session, she completely rejected the therapist's advice. No idea what might have been talked about on that day, but I think the therapist might have told her something about herself that she outright denied. I always felt like she is resentful towards other people, and at times, I had trouble believing that she is capable of loving, because if you're jealous of everyone around you, and if you constantly think that life has been unfair on you and that people have it easier, how could you have a positive demeanor towards the world and everyone around you? Should I forgive her and keep a platonic relationship with her? She'll be moving out of the country in 2 months' time, for the sake of what we've had so far and for the sake of her well-being. Or should I close that chapter together because, for the life of me, I couldn't possibly look at her again without thinking of her as someone who destroyed my mental health? Here's the second story. She cheated on me with a guy from Tinder. I'm 28, absolutely livid right now. I've just got back from a long-term assignment overseas and found out my fiancé, F24, has been cheating on me for the entire time. That's bad enough, but it gets far worse. She got herpes from the other man and I hope you're sitting down. Her plan was to infect me, too, so I would have a reason not to dump her. Are you kidding me? Exclamation mark. Can anyone explain to me her logic? She was being so aggressive to get me into bed. Normally, she gives me a couple of days to get over jet lag before she initiates intimacy. But this time she was talking all kinds of dirty, cam girl dirty. She never does that, and she was climbing into my lap in the parking garage. She's normally very private about physical affection. Something just didn't seem right, so I told her I needed to recover from my long flight. This started a huge fight that got worse on the drive home and turned into a full-out screaming match once we got back home, complete with her breaking things. I didn't understand what was going on and told her I was going to call the police so they could lock her up for her own good. And that's when she told me she'd cheated on me with a guy from Tinder. She said it was a mistake, that she was sorry, and begged me to forgive her. I just stared at her, trying to breathe. I told her she had to leave, give me some room, but she fell to the floor and grabbed my legs, telling me that I can't throw her out, that I can forgive her, if we could just make love. I demanded to know why that's so important. In between screaming, sobbing, and ranting, she said she had herpes, her life was ruined if I dumped her, and it was my fault because I wouldn't have sex with her right then and there. I felt like a million cockroaches were crawling all over me. I grabbed my keys and left. I'm at a hotel now. She's blowing up my phone, texting me that herpes isn't a big deal, that if we both had it, it would make us a stronger couple, and we could even share medicine. She put a laughing face emoji after that line. I think she's going insane. We've been together for 5 years, engaged for the last year, and I don't think I know who she is at all. I've taken multiple showers and still can't get rid of the feeling bugs are crawling all over me. I can't turn out the lights, I can't even close my eyes. Here's the third story. I discovered her affair with the boss. We have been together for 11 years, we have been engaged for 3. We moved across the country 4 years ago to be closer to her parents. Her mom is getting older, and her dad needed help with his business. We were ready to get married, which we then postponed because of COVID. I discovered she was having an affair with her boss 8 months ago, when I found her scribbling their names together with hearts, trying out her signature with his last name, etc., like a high school crush. I was shocked. I kept gathering evidence, naked pictures, fake work trips blah blah, but I had no idea what to do. I was just like a ghost. Finally, she made some comment about how nice her boss was, how I should meet him, I'd really like him, and I just lost my shit. She told me everything. She told me some things. She never meant to hurt me. She was unhappy. She didn't mean it when she said she loved him. It's complicated. She thinks we should fix this, but I couldn't even process what I was hearing. Like I had known for months, but I just didn't believe it was real. I didn't know what to do, so I packed up my car with some camping gear, and I bolted. I talked to her father on my way out of town. He completely understood. He gave me a big hug, and we cried for a little bit. It was probably the most difficult conversation I've ever had. I've just been wandering around state parks and BLM sites for the last week. Supposedly to clear my head, but I'm just so fixated I sit in my tent watching shitty YouTube life coach videos. Obviously, I didn't think this through. I am so scared right now. I have no idea what to do next. This would all be more manageable if I hadn't moved across the country to be with her and her family. I worked for her father for his carpentry business because I thought this is what she wanted. It's all I've ever done. I have no other skills. I have no friends out here, no family. I'm completely tangled up in her and her parents. I have a couple thousand in savings and a 2010 Honda Civic, and now I feel like I have to completely start my life over, by myself. It seems impossible, but I can't go back. The conversations she had with her boss are so humiliating. I'm just wandering the Mojave googling cheapest cities to live. I have no idea what I'm doing. We have a dog. We were going to renovate her parents' house to add a nursery for our kids. We had this incredible life, and now I'm just like a drifter. I don't trust myself not to go running back begging for reconciliation, but just because I'm scared to be alone. Here's the fourth story. I want no contact, since she won't stop her affair. So long story short, it's been 2 weeks since she left the house since she cheated on me for 2 months, and she didn't want to stop her affair. I recently, a week ago, told her I want no contact except when it is about our son. Since then, every day she texts me about random stuff. Yesterday I was clear I don't want to be in touch with her since she doesn't care about me and I still love her, so I could protect myself and heal alone. I blocked her from Messenger so I don't see when she's online or not, and so I would think about her less. She was a bit shocked already. What did she do? Message me in the evening about something uninteresting, twice. Then this morning again. Since I was ignoring her, she came to my house, pretexted she was worried since I wasn't replying. She was almost in tears and her voice was weird. She seemed in distress a bit. She added, "You're ghosting me, it doesn't feel good." There are many things I could have replied, but I was a bit speechless. She could say that to me after what she's done. She was going to a medical appointment and stopped by on the way there. I told her I don't want to talk to her except about our son again, and she left. 3 hours later, she gets out of her appointment and texts me the outcome, and sends 6 or 7 messages about it and asking if I had chickenpox when I was a kid, then asked if our son got anything weird on his skin. I just replied no, even though she spends time with him every other day, so she knows very well he didn't have any problem. So she basically finds pretexts to just engage in a conversation with me, all the time. But she doesn't care about me, since she won't stop her affair, doesn't want to talk about it, and doesn't take any time to reflect on the situation, etc. She's just trying to get the best from me while staying away from the bad. She lives in a parallel dimension. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.